Guten Tag. That's hello in Spanish. Welcome to the Slightly Amusing Podcast. My name is Ryan. I'm joined tonight by the illustrious Cody, who is currently bawling laughing.
Hi, that's me. I'm trying to hold it together. Are you using that intro?
I was planning on it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I did not warn Cody of my opening bit.
And I'm a giggly bitch that laughs at his own fart jokes, so I'll laugh at anything, basically.
Pretty much. But welcome to the podcast. This is episode 2. About 3 weeks or so after we did the first one.
Has it already been 3
we'll
weeks? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it has been a while. We'll see how this goes. I've always been told by, musicians that it's never the first one that's the hardest or the most pressure. It's your follow-up. And so that's what we're dealing with tonight, is our follow-up podcast, which you can find on Spotify. You like that transition?
It was beautiful.
Thank you. I ruined it, but that's okay. So, we have the podcast on Spotify. Be sure to find it. It's called Slightly Amusing. We also will be on YouTube under my YouTube name, which is RJFoxtrot. Also, be sure to go check out Cody's YouTube channel, where he puts up, now, thanks to his New Year's resolution, a video per week.
Yep.
Consistency. And what is the name of your YouTube channel?
Buglies.
Spell it.
Buglies. You have the ability to link it.
You
to
say
places.
G
Just
or
do
J?
Buglies.
I got you second guessing yourself already. It's gonna be a great night.
It's not hard to do.
I know. But thank you so much for joining us. So the topic of this one, I kind of had some trouble trying to think about what to do, because it's the follow-up.
We're only on episode 2.
We're only on episode 2. This probably isn't gonna go for much longer, but then I had an idea based on a YouTube video I watched. So for those of you that don't know, which I'm assuming is everybody, me and Cody, we like cameras. We like photography.
Somewhat, yeah.
To an extent, we like photography. I would say Cody is more of an expert than I am.
I wouldn't define myself as an expert. I'm just a geek.
Well, you're more of an expert than I am. Let's put it that way. But you've also been doing it for far longer than I have. I just started October of 2020 was when I started doing photography as a hobby.
I only bought my camera in February of 19.
That's still what, over a year and a half on it?
Year and a half-ish.
You also what I appreciate about you is you deep dive into things that you're interested in. So you gain an immense amount of knowledge really quickly.
It's also a huge financial concern, but that's besides the point.
Oh yeah, that's a conversation for another day. Check out our next podcast where we deal with finances.
And the crippling debt that is brought upon by photography.
Pretty much. But so because of that hobby that we have, something I thought would be kind of interesting for this would be camera rumors for 2022, since the beginning of 2022. Happy New Year, everybody, by the way.
Woo.
I mean, it's January 16th when we film this, so we're already halfway through the first month, but there's still a lot of stuff to be had this year. So, I have compiled a bunch of different rumors from the big 3 camera companies. That's Canon, Sony, and Nikon.
Okay.
Along with some other ones in case we have time, or if we're not running over time, then I'll go to those as well. I'll share those later if we need to, but
I have a couple I could throw out if you need them as well, more or less based on my camera that I've been seeing every year. But
a couple of rumors.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Also, I did not tell Cody until like the day before this what the topic was going to be. So this is going to be kind of run by me, and he's going to be giving his expert opinion on things. Because remember, Cody is an expert.
Please don't label me as this.
Cody is some form of an expert.
I sure don't get paid like an expert for photography.
You don't get paid at all.
That's incorrect. I've made a whole $20 with this camera.
Okay, so you're a professional. I'm also professional. I once got paid $15 for
I can't even say if the footage got used because the guy I worked with never said if he compiled that video together or not. But I got paid, so whatever.
There you go, professional. And his professional photographer Cody is going to give his reaction to these rumors. There's no real order. I guess I'm just going to start with Canon because they kind of have the most stuff or most rumors that I was able to find.
What they do?
I mean, it's not like a much more. I will say this though, just kind of a general summary. It seems like 2022 is going to be more focused, is like the year of lenses and the year of not really investing in new cameras because of the global chip shortage. There are a lot of the companies, they do have cameras coming out potentially, but a lot of them, or at least two of them for sure, tend to be focusing on other things aside from chips.
Well, that's awkward because I'm kind of
yeah, I know you're in the process of like upgrading your camera.
Yeah, if you had seen my last my last YouTube video I put up, I talked about some of the cons of my camera, both of which being just TLDR, go watch the video for more details. It only has you're goddamn right, I'm gonna plug my video.
I mean, no, yeah, I mean, this is your podcast too, dude.
The camera only has a 30-minute record limit, and it does not have clean HDMI out, which when I'm trying to do video and streams, both of those kind of bottleneck me a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but it is kind of an inconvenience. Between those and one of the rumors that I have, I am probably gonna have me a new camera here in a few months.
I'm looking forward to it.
My plan right now is to see what my rainy day funds look like after my birthday here in a month and go from there.
Fair enough. So I guess without further ado, we'll get started. Well, since we're starting with Canon, Cody, do you want to, since you shoot on Canon, do you want to give your rumor first?
Sure. Well, I got two of them, and they're both based around the EOS M series, which is what I have. I have an Canon M50. The first is, and again, I've been seeing these both for the last 2 years since I got this camera in 2019. Every year, they're like, oh, it's going to happen this year. One of them is that Canon's going to put out a new series of lenses for this mount, and I don't remember what they all entailed. I don't remember specifically the models they were going to do, but they were all going to be like faster glass. Like they had I think a 12mm f2, a 40mm f2. They had a 100mm macro lens. There was just a couple lenses that every few years they'd say like, oh, these lenses have been rumored, they're going to put them out this year, and they never do, which makes me sad because the lens lineup for this camera that's actually good is very small. Probably about 2 dozen or so.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
After all this time?
Yeah.
How long has that camera
I mean,
been
there's
out?
a lot of well, the EOS M mount has been out for, I don't know, whenever the Canon EOS M came out, which I think was like, I want to say 2010.
So in 10 years, they only have 2 dozen?
Well, Canon has a small handful, and Sigma recently released, Sigma and Viltrox, and I should also clarify, I'm looking at autofocus ones. They have a crap ton of aftermarket ones that are all manual, but they're kind of like the cheapo little $100 like brand you never heard of. But from Canon, Sigma, I think Tamron has a lens for it, and Viltrox, there's probably about 25 to 30 different lenses I could pick from. So if they added a few more, the ones that they had looked really cool. They had I believe they had one that was the kit lens, which is a 16 to 45, but it was f2 all around, which would be very nice because this is a 3.5 to 5.6, I believe, off the top of my head, aperture. But yeah, they haven't done anything with it. It's always just been a rumor every year, the same 5 lenses. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Keep teasing me.
Maybe that is a good reason to like upgrade to like the was it the RF?
Yeah, those are expensive.
Yeah, but it seems like they're investing more in that than the
They are. And here was the other rumor that's always been kicking around, is that Canon is going to discontinue all of their EOS M cameras.
Oh no.
Every year since I bought this, it's been those two rumors jumping back and forth. I'm like, ugh. So I've kind of had it up with it, and then like I said, doing the content stuff, the bottlenecking with the different video aspects. I'm still definitely gonna keep this camera around for photography because it's a great stills camera.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at other options right now.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay,
Those
well,
are my two rumors I have to throw into the bucket.
thank you for your rumors. I will say, based off of what I've gathered, Canon at this point is not looking to discontinue any cameras.
Well, like I said, for the last 2 or 3 years, those have been the same two rumors that have been cropping up. That it's just like, oh, they're not going to be. And it's funny because they even released the M50 Mark II last year, and everyone's like, oh no, they're still going to discontinue this line. They're gonna cut it off. They're not going to do it anymore. They're focusing on the R lenses or the R cameras.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to drop.
Which they definitely are.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think they're going to drop that completely because it comes to my first rumor. Now, full disclosure, take all these rumors with some grains of salt. Because they are all just rumors. I've compiled them from various different websites, mainly Canon Rumors, Nikon Rumors, Sony Alpha Rumors, but also Digital Photography Review was another website that I really picked up on that had some good stuff. So, the first one that I'm going to...
Yeah, we don't. These are all just rumors. We don't have any insider knowledge yet.
We're currently working on our connections.
We're sending out emails.
But the first rumor... an M series vlogging camera. I don't know if you heard about this or not.
The M series?
Yep. Basically, it's how do I describe this without? It's like a stick with a camera on top that's like built into the stick. It didn't have like any. I wasn't able to find any sort of specs for it, but I did see what looked to be some sort of a image that I'll send to you later that you can check out. But that's since you were talking about the M series, that was the one I saw on there. But yeah, there are rumors of a vlogging camera. They're not the only company to go this route. It looks like they're trying to tap into, well, like TikTok and people who vlog on their phones. They're trying to provide higher quality video capabilities than the phones can currently provide.
Yeah, when you say camera on a stick, and your explanation probably makes a lot more sense, but the first thing I pictured was like that Instax 360 one. That's like the 360 camera with the stick that it edits out that you can do crazy like stunt stuff with or whatever. You know the camera I'm talking about?
I think it looks kind of like that. The camera's like in its own shell.
Oh, okay.
That's like all part of one body. If that makes sense.
Oh, it's all part?
From what I can tell, it's all part of one body. At least the photo I saw. Now, it could be something where you're able to switch out lenses, but I don't. Like I said, I was not able to find any specs for this camera. So
if they're putting the M moniker on it, I'd assume that you'd be able to put the EOS M lenses on it, but I don't.
I was going off based the picture I saw.
Okay, and I'm going off based off of a picture I haven't seen.
Yeah. So like I said, these cameras, grains of salt.
Yeah.
But so that is the first rumor I wanted to go with. I'll move on to what's being known as the Canon Kokomo. Have you heard about this?
Is this like a Beach Boy themed camera?
I wish it was. That was my first thought when I heard the Kokomo.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, but no. Apparently, it's and I'm quoting from the website here: a new virtual reality video system, which enables users to make face-to-face, real-time, immersive video calls in an experimental 3D environment. Basically, it's like it seems to be Canon entering the VR market. Now, I don't have it says it's a system, so there's no like physical gear yet to really speak of, aside from a lens they put out last year that was meant for 3D or for VR. But this seems to be some sort of system that they're looking to create where I imagine on a VR headset you can use it to like make phone calls and maybe meetings, and that's what this appears to be for me. Like I said, the companies this year are looking to branch away from cameras due to the chip shortage. This was one of the biggest things to come out of it, from what I can tell, at least from Canon. It seems very experimental, and I don't know if it'll like get any footing this year. But that was like the big thing from that list.
The only pieces I'm putting together with this is you saying that it's a virtual reality camera thing, and I'm thinking back to a podcast I was listening to a couple weeks ago that was talking about a bunch of interesting tech that has been coming out around the Facebook metaverse thing, and about how Mark Zuckerberg is trying to make the Matrix. And now I'm getting more scared.
Yeah, the Matrix is coming, dude.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled.
If we're not already in it.
Yeah, we might already be in it.
Mr. Musk said that we're in a simulation, so it's got to be true, right?
Right. But yeah, very strange stuff. Or at least a very strange experimental.
In my expert opinion, the Matrix is coming.
Yes, expert Cody over here.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the cameras. So one thing I did want to put out, again, there were no specs for this, but I did see that they're potentially putting out a replacement for the RP.
I heard something about that, yeah.
Like I said, I was not able to really find anything in regards to what it will include, but I did see that, so I wanted to mention it.
I remember seeing some article about that a couple months ago, because I remember vividly calling Dustin immediately and being like, dude, they're trying to replace your camera. Like I said, it had some speculative specs on it, but I don't remember any of it. It's basically just, yeah.
Do you know how old the RP is?
I do not know, no.
All right.
I can get you that information.
I mean, if you want to. There's no real... Well, my only thing is, like, if it's older, it makes sense, but if it's, like, a couple years old, then it wouldn't really make sense, I think, to replace it.
March of 19.
Oh, yes, yeah, so that seems pretty new.
Hmm.
Unless this is just, like, a Mach 2.
Maybe.
Maybe. That might be what they're kind of getting at with that.
I don't remember specifically. Like I said, this was a while ago that I saw this.
I have 4 cameras on here that are rumored, and I have some specs for all of them. So, the first one we're going to look at, and this one I think is the most probable. In fact, I wanted to record this now, because the new rumors that this is going to be announced January 19th. So, just a couple days. The Canon,
bud.
yeah, the Canon EOS R5C. Which is basically the Mach... Okay. Well, not the Mach 2. It's the cinema version of the R5.
Oh, cinema. Okay, I thought
that's what the C stands for. The C... No, so the C stands for cinema. It may be announced January 19th. It wasn't confirmed, but that's the leading theory. The biggest thing that's going to have active cooling, because Canon cameras are known to overheat like crazy.
Specifically, that R5 when it came out, everyone was talking about the overheating. The overheating and the sensor wobble were crazy when that thing first launched.
Yeah, so this will have active cooling. You got Canon Log 2, which
nice.
I was not able to really find out what exactly that means. Like I said, I'm not really on the video side of it. I'm more of a stills guy. Can you please explain what Log 2 is?
Log 2 specifically, I don't know, but I know when you get a log profile, it'll basically I don't know the specific science behind it, but it basically I'm gonna say basically a million times. What it does is gives you a kind of washed out image where there's not a whole lot of color or contrast to it, and in doing that, somehow the science of the format keeps a lot of the information about the exposure and the colors in the file, so you're able to get a lot more flexibility in post-production when it comes to setting your exposure and color grading. Now, it's not as expansive as shooting raw for photos or for videos for the cameras that support that, like the Blackmagic and stuff, but it is a preferred setting for many filmmakers that want to do a lot of post-production and color grading and stuff.
I got it. It's kind of like what you were showing in your last video.
Yes, that's not a full log profile, because this camera doesn't support log. It's, like I said, the actual log, and I don't know what it stands for. I should learn that. That'd make me sound a lot more professional. It has to do with the way it interacts with the sensor, I believe. The one I have is just a basic picture profile that washes out a lot of the color and lets me kind of simulate a log style with it.
Okay. But that was one of the big announcements. I guess the regular R5 had log 3, but this is going to use log 2. And then also it would have a full-size HDMI connection. And then the other big thing was unlimited 8K 30p recording in Cinema Raw Light.
Really? Is that internal or external, did it say?
I don't recall. I did not write that down. It might have.
I doubt it can do unlimited 8K internal recording. I believe that would have to be external.
Yeah. Now, the other question, the other thing that was not told on there was the price. I imagine this thing's going to be very expensive.
How much is the R5 now? I think it's like 3,200.
Last I saw it was like 65.
Oh, wow. Okay. Here, hold on. I'm in B&H.
Okay, it's gone down to 5,000.
Oh, okay.
But I believe when it first released, because I watched the video on this the other day, when it first released, it was 6,500. But those are the big things from the R5C. And again, that's oh, you're writing something.
I was writing down to look into what the difference between log 2 and 3 is, because now I'm curious. See, this is how much of a geek I am.
That's not geeking. I mean, that's just like, you're the expert, so you got to be an expert.
I geek out about this stuff. I just want to know. I want to know. I need the knowledge.
Fair enough.
Somehow I did poor in school, but I can tell you a bunch of shit about these cameras that we use.
Yeah. So that is the R5C. That's everything I found. Like I said, it's expected to be announced literally in a couple days. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, next up, we got a big boy. We have the EOS R1.
I've heard something about that, but I didn't see much about it. I just heard it was a concept.
This is supposed to be Canon's, like, basically top-of-the-line consumer camera. It's expected to be... I mean, we're still going to have to wait a while. It's not expected to come out until Q4.
Oh, okay.
And there's not much information on it right now. However, there is a quote from someone at Canon, and take this also with a grain of salt because it's a quote from someone at Canon. But the quote was that the camera is a jack of all trades, master of everything. For whatever that's worth.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit PR speak. I wouldn't trust it.
Nah, but that's what they're going with. Current rumor, 85 megapixels.
Damn.
Global shutter sensor. 20 FPS burst. 40 upgrade up to 40 when it's cropped to 21 megapixels.
That's wild.
And then here's the other thing that's crazy. 1.6 million ISO. That's a lot of ISO.
Okay, yeah, this definitely sounds like they're trying to compete with the Sony A1 right now, because that's what I did hear about that camera, was it was gonna, like, they're trying to push more into low light stuff, and people were saying like, oh, they're trying to one up Sony and stuff. So that'd definitely be interesting. I had the A1 pulled up because I thought that it was going to be competing with it, but then you said it was an 85 megapixel. I'm like, that's a whole ass 35 more than this A1 has.
We will get to this sort of thing later, I promise you.
Okay.
But that is the Mac Daddy of the Canon lineup for this year, is the R1. Up next, we have what's going to be called the EOS RS. This is going to be a direct competitor with the Sony A7R4. At least according to the rumors I found. There's not much information on it other than 80 megapixel sensor. Excuse me. And the viewfinder can tilt up and down.
That's pretty cool.
So that's the only specs I was able to find on it. But that is their next camera. And then the final camera, the EOS R7. Now this one I thought was kind of interesting because apparently this is Canon's response to the Nikon Z50. Which I thought, wow, they are responding to Nikon. So apparently Nikon released a Z50, which is a more affordable APS-C camera that I guess did very well last year. And so this was their response to that.
Interesting.
APS-C body using RF lenses. It'll be the smallest camera in the EOS R line. and it's projected to come out in the second half of 2022.
Is it an APS-C sensor itself? If it's competing with the whatever 50?
All I saw on there was APS-C body.
Okay, so it probably has an APS-C sensor.
Yeah, so and it'll use RF sensors. Or RF lenses, I apologize. But I just thought it was really interesting, given all the shit Nikon usually gets, that Canon had to respond to them.
Interesting.
Again, these are all grains of salt, except for the R5C. I'm almost positive that one's going to be coming soon.
I'm just more thinking about a Canon RF camera my size with a big RF lens on it. That'd be interesting.
A big super telephoto. And that's it from Canon.
They didn't have anything on their other than the 5C. They didn't have anything else on their cinema lines, like their C300 or anything.
Not that I saw.
Boo.
No, they very well could, but I just didn't find it.
They did do the C70 last year, so I guess that's enough for now. That was a freaking beast of a cinema camera.
Yeah. I guess with that, we'll move on to Sony.
Woo.
Which neither of us have really much with, because neither of us shoot Sony, except for the fact...
I've played with Zach's A7 too.
That's true. And then, technically, the first camera I ever used was a Sony Alpha 7, an A7, I believe. Or maybe something like that. It was my dad's camera, which was a Sony. So I have some experience with Sonys. But the main thing that Sony's going for this year, I guess, is lenses. Or at least, no, I take that back. For the first half of the year, they're going to be focusing on lenses. Specifically, they got a 24 to 70 millimeter f2.8 coming out, along with an 85 millimeter 1.2 coming out.
Ooh. Do they have speculated prices on those?
If they do, I didn't find them.
Damn. That 85 1.2 would be... the heck.
Yeah, that does seem pretty crazy. With that said, though, crazy... I mean, crazy as far as like specs go, like sort of a space race type deal here. We got the potentially A7R5.
Really?
With wait for it, 102 megapixels. They would be the first camera to break 100 megapixels.
So that would be over 4 times the megapixels that my camera has right now.
And mine.
That's fucking mental, dude.
Yeah. So
102 you said, or 105?
102, I believe is what I said. Yeah, 102 megapixels.
Damn.
So that's literally the only spec I was able to find on it. But that is the current rumors that in the second half of 2022 they're going to release that with a 102 megapixel sensor. And be the first camera to do it.
I want to see somebody take a still image of somebody with a 102 megapixel sensor and then blow it up as large as they can before it distorts and see how big that gets.
Put up in Times Square.
That would be you'd probably have to, honestly. You'd probably have to.
That would be some good marketing.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
Somebody would probably have to invent a printer first that can print something that big. If they don't already. I doubt they do. But this is the first 102 mil or 102 megapixel, whatever. That's wild.
Yeah, it's nuts. So,
did it have other specs on it?
That was literally the only spec I saw, because that's what the article I saw was focusing on, was just 102 megapixels.
That's wild.
Which is incredible. It's just incredible that we've gotten there so fast with mirrorless cameras. If we've made it there. This, like I said, take these with grains of salt. These are not confirmed. These are just the rumors. But if we get there this year, that's crazy.
If they do release that this year, I'm just gonna take a week off of work and watch like YouTube videos of footage all week.
I would like consider like renting one. I know it'd be super expensive, but I would try to
I doubt they'd have it down at the camera shop near us, but I'd go see if I could just hold it and be like, oh.
Yeah, or maybe like go up to Tampa and see if they got it.
There's a camera shop, I don't know what it's called, but in Orlando. Me and Dad are waiting for Zach to get a Saturday off where we can all go up there. You should come with if you so desire. I don't know when it's gonna be, but
sure. Bet they would have it.
Yeah, he said it's a pretty big shop, so.
Yeah. So that was the big thing that I saw, the big innovative thing that Sony's doing this year, potentially. Next up is the A9 III.
Okay.
Now, Originally, this was meant to be released alongside the Olympics, which is going to be next month, which is literally like 2 weeks. But due to, I guess, COVID restrictions and also the chip shortage, they've had to push it back to, well, they don't have a date right now, but it was originally meant to come out during, like, before, like, alongside the Olympics, because it's a sports camera, or it's a camera meant for sports photography. 20 megapixels, continuous shooting up to 60 frames per
20?
second. Only 20, but it continues shooting up to 60 frames per second.
Because I'm looking at the A9 II right now, and that's got 24.
I think, well, like I said, I think they're trying to go for the frames per second.
Which was
60. Yeah.
What?
Yes. Continuous shooting at up to 60 frames per second.
That's video, bro.
And also, it's going to have 4K 60p video.
That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, so that's, I think, what their main focus of that camera is sports photography. Could be the sport photographer's dream.
Damn, alright. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. But, unfortunately, it missed the Olympic date, so it wouldn't surprise me if they try to re-release it at another very sports impactful time. Like, maybe the NFL playoffs next year.
Probably, I don't know.
But
damn,
we will
crazy.
see. Yeah.
That's crazy. Sony doing some wild stuff today. Damn.
Yeah, I've found some crazy things in this research. And then the final thing from Sony I have is the ZV-1 II.
Okay.
Now this one has very little known, not even concept art, but like the camera I mentioned to you about Canon, this is also supposed to be a vlogging camera. Kind of in the same style. The other things I saw was 20 megapixels and 4K 30p video, which would be crazy for a vlogging camera. Especially once I send you like the pictures of what it's supposed to look like. Like, this thing looks tiny, or at least the camera part itself.
I'm looking at the ZV-1 right now, and that one looks freaking.
No, it doesn't look. It's not supposed to look like that.
Oh, not?
It's like completely redesigned it.
Then why would they give him the same name?
I don't know. Like I said, these are grains of salt, Cody. This could have a completely different name.
Or a completely different shape. Yeah,
True.
This thing looks freaking tiny as hell. Is that a...
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a built-in lens. That's probably why it's as cheap as it is.
All right, and that's all I have for Sony. Now we're going to move on to Nikon.
Before we move on, let's just say, if Sony does all that shit, oh my god, that's going to be a great year if you're a Sony shooter. Holy shit.
Well, now, to be fair, it's only a great year if you can actually use the cameras.
Yeah.
Like, for us, it probably won't. If we were Sony users, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal because we wouldn't be able to have access to those cameras.
If you're in those fields and use Sony already.
Oh yeah, and you have the money to get those cameras. Like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh baby. But that's not us, unfortunately. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Sony, send us some stuff.
Yeah.
We'll shout you out. I'll become a Sony user. Sure, why not?
I'll do it too. Yeah. I can get some cheap lenses from Zach. He's looking to sell his stuff.
There you go. So now we're going to move on to Nikon. Now, full disclosure, I shoot on Nikon. I currently use a Nikon Z6 II. I've used it now for over a year, and I love it.
You've had that over a year?
I got it. Yeah, I got it Christmas last year.
Damn, I didn't realize you had it that long. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's right. We did go shooting with it before you left at the top of the last year. Or was that the beginning of last year?
We went somewhere.
We went to Emerson.
That was in like May.
So that oh yeah, you left over summer. That's right.
Yeah, but no, I got this at Christmas last year.
Dude,
and I
was
love
that
it.
the year that Dustin was in town and we went down the Riverwalk? Chased after that
This
train?
was before that. That was like a week before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So I was still using my dad's Sony at the time. But I love it.
That was a fun.
It's a great stills photography camera, which is what I primarily use. But moving on to what Nikon has in store for us this year. First of all, they're heavily expanding the Z mount, which is not really a surprise. But
new lenses, you mean?
yes, new. Did I say lenses?
You just said expanding the Z mount. I was just
Yes, expanding Z-mount lenses, which is their mirrorless line. At this point, confirmed, we have 8 lenses.
well, you're talking about rumors, not confirms.
Well, okay, these ones are confirmed because they're on the roadmap. They actually put out a
Okay.
roadmap for their
did?
lenses. Yes, they did. And there are 8 confirmed on there for this year. 4 of which are super telephoto.
Are any of which ones that you're looking at buying?
Probably not right now. See, like, the thing that Nikon's done with their Z-mount roadmap, and I think it's a pretty smart move, is that they have the basics down. So, like, your basic, like, your 50 mil, your 15 mil, your 70 mil, like, you're like, the ones that you're kind of, like, have, like, in your package, they've already put out there. They're now going into the more specialist ones. They have 2 macro lenses coming out this year.
So
I
they're
believe
going for the more niche shooting.
yeah, the more niche
okay.
shooting this year. Yeah, 4 super telephoto. That's crazy. But that's the first thing I want to put on there was 8, and that's at least. There's potential they could release more, but those are the 8 that are confirmed for this year. So there, and that would bring the Z mount total to 30.
Okay.
Which I think they just put this out. They started this in like 2018.
Is that when they started the Z mount?
I believe so. It's 2017, 18.
Okay.
Let me look that one up because I don't want to be wrong on it. 2018.
Okay.
So it's been out now for it's entering its 4th year, and it's about to have 30 lenses, which is good because like when I was starting with Nikon, which was last year, or when I was like looking into what camera to get, one of the biggest knocks against getting a mirrorless Nikon was the lack of lenses. But over last year and this year, they're heavily investing in them, and I think the count went from like 12 to 30.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the first thing from Nikon. The first thing that we got is the Nikon Z30. This is a entry level mirrorless, probably the cheapest Z mount camera that they were going to produce. It's a very small camera though. It's a DX.
What does the DX mean? Is that like a certain line of things?
It's not full frame.
Oh, okay.
24 megapixel, but it's like and it's small in the way that there's not going to be a viewfinder on it, and I believe the LCD screen is fixed from what I saw.
Oh, okay.
But it's a small, affordable, entry-level mirrorless camera.
Nice.
The next thing, which is actually 3 things. So currently, Nikon is, according to Rumors, they are testing 3 different camera models that don't have full specs on them, but according to the report I saw, one is a 60 megapixel camera. One is
Did you say 60 or 16?
60.
Okay.
One is a camera that's designed for sports photography, shooting at or with continuous shooting of 30 frames per second. And then the other one I saw is a 46 megapixel camera, continuous shooting up to 20 frames per second. And those are the only specs I could find. But they currently, it seems like, got 3 cameras in the pipeline that they're potentially going to release this year. If they do, it'll probably be much later.
Nice.
Now, the main thing that I found, this sounded really interesting and innovative to me. We'll see how you feel about it, because I know everyone's had an issue with Nikon and innovation. So the thing that I found is that they're currently developing a 4K sensor that can capture up to 1,000 frames per second. That's what I found. The sensor is reportedly 1 inch long.
Shit.
And yeah, that's the big thing I found as far as like what they're doing is they're figuring out. It seems like they're very much, their focus this year is innovating their cameras, or finding new ways to innovate them, I guess. And that's the big thing I saw in there that just sounded kind of mind blowing, which was 1,000 frames per second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the name of the brand, but there are camera manufacturers that make super high speed cameras like that. Like it's killing me right now. The camera that all the cameras that like the slow-mo guys use, those things do like crazy absurd frames per second. I don't know what the resolution is on them, but those are just mental.
Yeah. So I found the article. It's from Digital Camera World. According to what Nikon said, this new stacked CMOS image sensor uses a fine-pitch wafer-level wire connection technology consistent with the 2.7 pixel size. Also, it has a total pixel count of approximately 17.8 megapixels that realizes 4K by 4K high-resolution imaging of 1,000 frames per second and 110, I believe that's decibel, that might not be decibel, high dynamic range characteristics. This is one of the widest dynamic ranges in the industry. So it seems like that's like their big innovation that they're trying to go for, which would be absolutely nuts, and that seems like a sports photographer's dream, or any action photography. But if that really does come out this year, again, that's one of those things. Just seems like I can't believe we're at this point.
I guess, like, because I was comparing it to those super slow motion cameras, but those are like big, massive chonker boys. If this is something that's coming out in a relatively compact size, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like for consumer use.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nuts.
It's probably still going to be expensive as hell.
Oh, I imagine this thing will be up the wazoo.
I'd probably say like 9 or 10 G's.
Yeah, maybe more than that. Some I've noticed with Nikon though, with their cameras though, is that they price them much cheaper than Canon or Sony does.
Oh, okay.
At least at release. Because I noticed this with the Z9. The Z9 was $1,000 cheaper than the A1 or the R5 when they released it. Which I thought was an interesting choice. But it is, I mean, it is a way to sort of try to get a leg up in the market.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to play catch up, which they are. But according to everything with the Z9, it sounds like Nikon has caught up.
The Z9 does sound like a pretty good camera.
I watched a review of it, and it looks pretty crazy. At that point, it has, I believe it said it has an electronic shutter. It can get up to 120 frames per second. And I watched video of it, and it looks incredible. It looks like straight up video. It looks incredibly impressive. So, if I ever get to that point, like from what the guy was saying, and this guy was a guy who seemed very much like a professional. His name, I don't know if you know, his name's Jared Polin.
Oh yeah.
He has like a big,
Hold on.
yeah.
Let me, this isn't a gag that's gonna work on audio, but I have a Fronation sticker on my laptop.
Really?
Yes.
Good lord.
And I have an I Shoot Raw shirt somewhere that I wear every now and then.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I watched Jared Polin's review of the Z9.
I haven't watched his review, but I've seen him use the Z9, and I listen to his podcast that he does every now and again on Spotify, and he talks pretty highly of it. So
yeah, well, the big thing I got from it, or like the big way to kind of sum it up, was that if Nikon had released this 2 years ago when he was still shooting Nikon, he would still be shooting Nikon.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I'm happy to see the Nikon's finally caught up to Canon and Sony. I'm excited to see where they go from here. Hopefully the potato jokes will stop. We'll see. Anyways, it's still, I mean, they got some great products, and I'm very happy with my Z6 too.
I guess I should probably be more informed and actually go watch a few reviews on that camera, because like I said, I have heard some good things about it. But
and that's it for my camera rumors, at least from the big three. Apologies to anyone who's looking for Fujifilm or Panasonic or Olympus. I did not check those.
Or didn't Sigma release a little camera here recently, I think?
Apologies to all Sigma users.
All 5 of you.
Yeah. But we still have some time left, so I think I can quickly go through the next rumors I had, which was video game industry rumors for Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. To be honest, there's not that much here, and a lot of it is games related as opposed to what I think would be more interesting, which is hardware. But there is some hardware stuff.
There's probably a Switch Pro rumor somewhere around there, like there always is.
So funny, I'm gonna start with Nintendo. Funny enough, I didn't really see anything for a Switch Pro this year.
Really?
And now that does not surprise me. And the reason it doesn't surprise me is because literally a couple months ago they released the Switch OLED. So it does make sense to me, especially. Also keep in mind the Nintendo Switch is currently, it just entered its 5th year of its life cycle. So I think if they really want to try to expand it or keep it going, they might wait at least another year for the Pro. Which I'm sure at some point they're going to release a Pro. I think it just makes sense for them to release a Pro and expand the life of it. But I did not really see, other than like just some random guy in a chat room or like some random article from some random website. I didn't find a reputable website that said that there's a rumor about the Pro coming out this year.
That's surprising, because literally every year since the Switch has come out, even in that first year that the Switch was released, they're like, oh, they're gonna be doing a Pro here soon. It's been that was the same thing with the ones for the EOS M stuff. Like, it's just getting annoying seeing it all the time.
They did kind of release a Pro, not the Pro that everyone wanted.
That's fair.
But like I said, with the release
of
of that,
exclusively handheld player, it is a Pro.
Yeah, but like I said, given that they just released that at this point, was that 5 months ago? Not even 4 months ago. It's been a couple months. The fact they just released that,
October.
Yeah, so the fact they just released that leads me to believe that they're going to wait at least another year until they release the Switch Pro. It could even be 2 years. Which, like I said, I think would be a smart move to do if they really want to expand the life cycle of the Switch.
Yeah.
Because I am really interested in seeing where Nintendo goes from here. But no, as far as like Nintendo rumors, they're all game-based.
I'd assume so, yeah.
At this point, there's 5 Nintendo-published games releasing in 2022, which seemed a little small to me as far as a lineup. Doesn't seem like a lot.
Nintendo is also one for... They've done this with even some of their mainline stuff, where they show it on a direct and then like 3 or 4 months later release it. They've been known to do that over the last few years, so...
Now, there was a rumor that the first Nintendo Switch of the year is coming out in a few days. But that was not confirmed. That was just a rumor.
Okay.
But as far as like the 5 Nintendo published games releasing in 2022, obviously you have Pokemon Arceus, which is coming out this month, and we are all very excited for.
2 weeks, baby.
Yeah, 2 weeks. The other 4 games are Bayonetta 3.
Oh, that's right, that is happening.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Splatoon 3, and the unnamed Breath of the Wild sequel.
I keep seeing on my feed that they released a new trailer for that new Kirby game earlier on in the week. I need to go watch that, because that first trailer that they showed actually looked really cool, like a open world-esque Kirby game.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the... upon seeing the success of Breath of the Wild, it seems like a lot of like Nintendo properties are going the Breath of the Wild route, which is not a bad thing.
Oh.
But it's just something I thought was kind of interesting to look at.
I'm definitely interested in that. Obviously, besides the Pokemon, that's undoubtable. I'm getting that. But
yeah, there's not even a title for it yet, though. Is the issue? Like, it's gonna be a while till that one comes out.
No, I meant the new the Arceus game that's coming out next week. There's no doubt that I'm not getting that one, but the Kirby one definitely has piqued my interest. I want to look into that one a little bit.
The 3 games that have not been announced at all but are true rumors is a Donkey Kong game.
I think I heard something about that, yeah.
A Mario Odyssey 2.
Okay.
And another mainline Fire Emblem game.
I was talking to Steven earlier, and he said there are rumors that there are 2 mainline Fire Emblem games coming out this year somehow.
And it could be. The Fire Emblem games I don't think are very hard to make.
No.
But like I remember when the Wii U was a thing, they were very generous with mainline Fire Emblem titles coming out on it. So.
And then they released 3 Houses on the Switch, and it did okay.
Okay, that's honestly like one of my favorite games on the Switch. Have you played it yet?
That's right, I did get it. I haven't touched it yet. No. Dude, I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to sink into that game. That's the thing. Like, I'm scared that I'm not gonna be able to play that much of Arceus with how much I'm committing myself to freaking videos this year. My gaming time has been quite limited.
Fair point. But it is a very good game. For anyone who's listening, 3 Houses is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it.
I might try starting it on stream sometime.
That would be a pretty good game to stream, I think. That's kind of it for Nintendo this year. Like I said, not very much from them. Next, I'll go with Xbox, because they also don't have that much. The big thing that they have is continued support and innovation for xCloud, which is their cloud video gaming service. They're trying to obviously with the chip shortage, consoles are kind of hard to come by, so they're trying to get around that, especially for the new titles that are coming out this year for them that are exclusively Xbox. They're trying to get around it by introducing xCloud, which allows you to play Xbox games on, I guess, on your PC.
Yeah, PC or a mobile device.
Yeah, so the big, like I said, there's not much from Xbox this year in regards to that, other than they're just going to continue to support it and bring out new features.
Was there any rumors about what companies they were going to be scooping up this year, keeping with their tradition of just buying up everything?
No, but it did make jokes. It did make jokes about it, and that does kind of come up to my next rumor from them, which is 2 Bethesda titles that are exclusive to Xbox.
Isn't Starfield supposed to be coming out soon?
Yes, that's one of the games.
Okay.
The other game is called Redfall.
I'd heard something about that. Yeah.
Don't know anything about that game. I was always like, I'm a big Skyrim guy. Skyrim's my favorite game of all time.
When's Elder Scrolls 6? Come on, bro.
Oh, jeez. At this point, I'm just convinced that's never coming out. But for Skyrim was one of the biggest games of my childhood. Not really childhood. It came out when I was 14, but it's one of my favorite games of all time. And because of that, I was a big Bethesda fan after some stuff that's happened of late. Not as much anymore. But I was disappointed to see that Xbox did buy them, because that means that they're going to be exclusive to Xbox, and that made me sad because I'm a PlayStation user.
Well, on that point, you might be able to get it on PC.
Well, yeah, unless they're, like I said, Xbox exclusive.
And also, let's be honest, if you haven't sunk at least 100 hours into Skyrim, are you really a gamer?
I'm way past 100 hours.
I know, I'm just saying, if you haven't...
Oh yeah, if you haven't,
can you really call yourself a gamer? Like, I play Fortnite, but how much Skyrim have you played? What?
If I say Fusro Da, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate, like, gamer check.
Yep.
And that's it from Xbox. They really did not have much in the way of rumors this year, aside from the 2 Bethesda. They did have some other stuff, but they seem like very small titles that, like, it just didn't really feel necessary to put on here. But they did have some other small exclusives coming out.
Okay.
And then we're gonna end with PlayStation, because they definitely have the most stuff rumored to be out this year. Big thing, because of the chip shortage, they're revising the PS5. They're gonna change the way they make them. They're gonna have a different chip in it, supposedly. Apparently, it's a chip that, like, makes it better, has better performance.
They should try Tostitos.
You gotta get that Psy in at least once per episode, right?
Yeah.
But
I gotta remind myself that Ryan is always disappointed in me.
always
Always and forever.
Yeah. But I was kind of shocked at. I was like, this new chip that they're going to be using, which I guess they're using to combat the current chip shortage, is actually a better chip that provides better performance.
If they're keeping the same price, where's room to argue?
Well, I'm not arguing. I'm just wondering why they wouldn't do that to begin with.
Maybe that chip
if it is the same price.
Because the PS5 has been out for a little over a year. I think it came out November of 2020.
Well, yeah. So unless this is a new chip,
it might be. Very well,
it could
be.
There's not a lot of information on it.
Like what the Switch did with that Redbox revision.
True.
Granted, that also had to do with moving production to Taiwan. I don't remember. They did move it. They were moving production out of China, and that had a lot to do with what they did with that model.
Right. So that's kind of it with that. The other thing I kind of mentioned, and this was already announced, but that you'll be able to customize your PS5. They're coming out with, like, color plates.
Oh, yeah, they did show that.
So that should be interesting.
Well, hey, if they're making the PS5 better, and that'd be great, because I still
need to get it.
Yeah. I got till whenever in 2023 when they release Spider-Man 2 to get the PS5. So
the next big thing that they have, I guess they're completely reinventing their PlayStation Now, or the PlayStation Plus.
I heard something about that. They're like merging the two or something.
Yeah, it's currently codenamed Spartacus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically going to sort of emulate Xbox Game Pass, which I think is a smart move, because Game Pass is incredibly successful, and I think it's a smart move to sort of not necessarily, well, kind of copy it. Basically get rid of, like, you have, like, two different programs for gaming, just combine them. Just makes sense.
You know what I just realized? We're in the new generation of consoles, and I can't recall if we've seen any. I also don't remember if it's out yet, but I don't know if we've seen any games using the new Unreal Engine 5. Because I remember seeing the fucking demos they were throwing out before all those consoles came out, and that was mental. It was crazy what you could do with that thing. But
I mean, it's still in early access.
Oh, it is, okay.
So that's probably why.
We should make a game with it. It's free to use unless your game makes like a certain amount in profits. I think it's a large amount of money. If we I don't know.
I mean, I'm down if you're down.
Let's do it. We'll just get Christian to program it all if he's still alive.
Yeah, totally. I guess Fortnite's gonna be using it when it comes out.
Well, of course it is. It's made by Epic.
That's true. As is Bethesda's Redfall.
Oh, okay.
I guess we'll use it.
I guess I'll have to look at some gameplay from that then to see it in action.
Yeah. But that's the next big. And then the final rumor I have, and I've actually seen this because it got leaked. PSVR 2.
Yeah. I don't think it was leaked. I thought they had a.
Did they announce it? I thought it was leaked.
I don't think it was like fully announced, but they said something about it being in the works. I'm pretty sure Bobby Kotick came out and said something about that. That's the Sony dude, right?
Okay, so they officially confirmed it, but it was leaked back in August.
Oh, okay.
But Sony officially confirmed it like last week.
Really? Okay, then it must have been the leak that I was seeing. I could have swore that I saw confirmation a long time ago.
But some interesting things that have already been kind of. Well, I think this was a part of the leaks. I guess they have some better like touch sensors. I think they're kind of based off of the DualSense controller.
Yeah.
And the haptics that has. The big thing that I thought was interesting: a 4K display in your VR headset.
Yeah.
That could be kind of nuts. And then the other thing was that they will bring AAA games to it, which would be interesting. They're gonna have a better gaming library, much like better production, that sort of thing.
Nice. I don't know if I'd go with a PlayStation VR because I'd want to get one that can be on my PC because I really want to play Half-Life Alyx.
I don't blame you.
That game is sick.
Maybe it'll be able to. Maybe it'll have a way on there.
It's a Steam exclusive one though. Maybe. I mean,
I know, but like even with like the Oculus that I have, I can still get access to it. There is like a way around it.
If PlayStation let you use access Steam, that'd be more revolutionary than the Nikon sensor that you were talking about.
Right? That would be pretty crazy. And that's all the rumors I have. And we're clocking in at over an hour. So actually that worked out pretty well.
Nice.
So yeah, any final thoughts from anything you've heard today?
Camera sphere, this is if things are true, like the R5C and the A, whichever one it was that you were talking about, and the Nikon 1000 frames. This might be a very interesting year for new camera gear. Could very well.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't really care that much for the little vlogging stuff. I want to see the super big jumps that they're making. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, you want to see innovation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I am looking forward to seeing which of these rumors come true. I'll definitely be looking January 19th to see if they do announce the R5C.
January. What day is the 19th? Is that a?
That's
gonna be Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn. I was hoping it would be Tuesday so we could have live reacted to it on stream. That would have been fun.
Yeah, it should be an interesting year. And I guess that's all I have to say on that.
Cool.
So, I guess that just about wraps things up from us. So, thank you to everyone who is still watching. Well, you can find the podcast on Spotify, looking up Slightly Amusing. You can also find it on YouTube on my YouTube channel, RJFoxtrot. And be sure to find Cody on Twitch and on YouTube.
And I should probably plug this here because we talked about this last episode. I said I was gonna work on a schedule, and I got one. every Tuesday and Friday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me live on twitch.tv/Buglies. That's Buglies, because I know he was going to ask me to spell it. And then every Saturday on the channel of the same name on YouTube, there'll be a brand new video. So, content out the wazoo coming up.
That is true. He just released his setup tour. I guess that's it from us. That's Cody. I'm Ryan. I hope we've been slightly amusing. And we will see you next time. Have a good one.
Bye.